my song. Let's sing it. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Come on, it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know the words. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's it, sing. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah!
Hey, everybody. It is me, Jesse Blaze Snider, the coolest geek alive, and I am here to celebrate. That's right, celebrate the life of Val Kilmer, man. I love me some Val Kilmer. He is the best, and I'm such a big Val Kilmer fan. Every weekend on this show, I do a coolest pick or a coolest classic. And in the name of Val Kilmer, I am basically dedicating this show to him and six coolest classics. These are 6 of my favorite movies of all time. Anything that I post as a coolest classic, for Saturdays, that's something that I love and I've loved for a long time. The coolest picks are newer shows and films that I think are great, that are worth people's time. And, if you've ever listened to me do the coolest classics or the coolest pick, I'm not reviewing shit. I'm just gushing about how much I love these movies, these TV shows. And Val, he's got a lot of them, man. And there's some of them that are on my list, and they're purely on my list because of how great he is, and I think all 6 of these movies that we're going to chat about today are, top. Hey, Tim, how's it going, brother? I'm live on Facebook right now. I'm gearing up for being live on YouTube whenever I record this show a little later this year. I'm getting used to it on my Facebook. If you want to follow me on Facebook, just find me, Jesse Blaze Snider. There's a professional profile, and then there's a personal profile. Follow me on my personal profile. Follow me on both would be nice. But anyway, when I do the coolest picks and coolest classics, it's not a review. It's just my love for the thing. And I have so much love for Val Kilmer. I've got 6 movies that I want to talk about in particular. Like I said, we're going to start like our coolest classics thing, and I'm just going to go down the line. But there are a ton of movies that Val is known for, and I've heard great things about, or I do like, but maybe not quite as much as all that. Not on my list, but I know a lot of people like it, and I haven't really given the movie enough time. I've put it on a couple times when I've been sleepy and fallen asleep. But Top Secret is a fun movie. A lot of people swear by that with Val. His performance is excellent. I'm going to skip one of the ones that's my pick. I'm just kind of going up on the IMDb so we can go through some of these. Top Gun is not on my list, but Top Gun and the recent Top Gun, they're great movies. They are. They're decent movies. And Val is the villain, Ice, in Top Gun. He's excellent, and I highly recommend that. Now, there's tons of movies. He's been in so many movies, and I haven't seen a lot of some of the movies that he's been in, but I have gone out of my way to see some movies that he's been in. And like I said, I'm talking about the ones that I really like. I don't remember all of these movies sort of well enough to talk about, even though I like them. Like, say, something like The Doors, which a lot of people swear by The Doors. As a musician, as somebody who's grown up with a father who's a celebrity and all this stuff, there's a lot of things about The Doors that, I just don't give 2 fucks about, that people tend to think are oh, yeah, look at this sex and drugs and all that. I just don't care. And so that movie was not it was built up really big for me, how great that was. And his performance is excellent. But I'm not the biggest fan of the Doors movie, even though people love it and he is great in it and you may really like it. So I'm recommending it. True Romance would have been on my list, probably as an honorable mention, but I just did a True Romance coolest classic this past Saturday for True Romance because it just keeps coming up. If you haven't watched fucking True Romance, it's amazing. You may not even realize, if you have watched True Romance, that Val Kilmer's in the movie. He plays... what is it? No, Mentor. Mentor is when he goes in the bathroom and he's talking to himself, but he's seeing Elvis Presley, and Elvis Presley's giving him advice on how cool he is and all that shit. That is Val playing the king, and it's a great performance. I really like Really like that one. Hey Tim, don't get ahead of me, brother. Don't worry. I'm coming around to that one, brother. Yeah, my buddy Tim Lorenz is in the chat. Good man. What up, Tim? Shout out to you and your family. So another one that I don't really remember at all is The Real McCoy. I do remember enjoying that movie, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I think, is it Kim Basinger's in it with him? Yeah, it's him and Kim Basinger. What was this movie? Woman released from prison, expert bank robber. Yeah, he plays a bank robber, wants to settle down, go straight, but her parole officer and her former employer try to get her to pull one more heist. You know what? I'm not even sure. I don't remember. Check that one out. I'm gonna be making like a little list for myself after I'm done here of like movies that I'd like to watch in his honor. You know, and that's why I wanted to do this today, because I'm like, oh man, Val passed. Val's awesome. He's an actor I really felt connected to in some strange way. You know, just felt like I knew him from his movies on some level. It's very sad, actually. He's on a short list of people who always wanted to meet. Not so much to meet him, but just so I could tell him how great I think he is. Yeah, I would just, there's so few people who you think are so awesome that you'd like to meet them, just to be like, dude, I think you're awesome. And he's one of them. It's a bummer. It's sad for me, because I'm crazy enough to think that why shouldn't I meet any of these people? I do all sorts of things, run into people all the time. Maybe I'll meet them, but not anymore. Not anymore. All right, we're not going to talk about Batman Forever. Batman Forever is not one of my favorite movies of all time, even though I do love Batman Forever. I've watched Batman Forever many times. But Val as Bruce Wayne isn't exactly like good or bad. It's like nothing. It's a waste of Val Kilmer, to be perfectly honest. Val's so awesome. Seeing him in the Batman Forever movie, it was kind of like, Val for this one? Nah. All right, so I'm going to skip this next movie here because that one's on my top 6. The Island of Dr. Moreau, which is actually a little bit more interesting. Like, the movie isn't as good as the story behind the movie. All sorts of crazy shit going on. There's Marlon Brando was on that movie. I forget exactly what the details of why it was so crazy. I just recently had watched too, but it kind of went in and out of my ears because I had already heard this story, but it was funny through The Critical Drinker on YouTube. Great channel, The Critical Drinker. He's a reviewer, reviews movies, and he does a series called Production Hell, and he covered The Island of Dr. Moreau because it was a production hell story. And I kind of knew the story already, but I went in to watch it again. Because I was interested. It's like when I really became a fan of his, I was paying attention to him for a little bit, and I'll get to the movies that really did that for me in a second. I'm skipping them right now before I start to do my little countdown. But The Island of Dr. Moreau, it's interesting. It's an interesting movie, worth a watch. The Saint, which was a little disappointing for me at the time, but I've seen it since, and I like The Saint. I didn't do like a lot of study before talking about all these things, so some of them, I can only say so much about them. But I did watch The Saint. I remember being disappointed when I saw it the first time, but seeing it again years later and enjoying it. Red Planet, which was another sort of disappointing one, but was kind of cool. There's a movie called At First Sight, which was cute. It was a romantic film where Val's character, I think, is blind, and it's like a romantic kind of comedy. I don't remember him being in Pollock, but I guess he had a part in Pollock. I saw that a long time ago. I've heard good things about The Salton Sea, but I've never watched that movie myself. Only a few more that I want to just mention. Alexander, which was a mixed bag, but had some cool stuff. I mean, like I said, Val's amazing. He's just always so good. He was in Deja Vu in a little part. The movie's okay. I'm skipping things. I'm just trying to talk about the things that he was in The Love Guru playing himself. I don't even remember that. I'm pretty sure I saw The Love Guru. And he had a small part in Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. I only barely remember that movie. MacGruber. His part in MacGruber was fun. Kill the Irishman. That's a great movie. Haven't seen that in a long time. I don't remember his part in there. Um, Tenacious D to be the best, playing himself. Planes. Like, I didn't see Planes. Apparently he did Manny Faces and the Borg on one episode of Robot Chicken, which I find very funny considering he lost his voice. And he did a documentary, I forget what it's called, but I'm going to be able to pull it up in just a second. And then, of course, there was Top Gun Maverick, where you saw him there, unable to talk. And they did some clever things in the movie to, have him have some presence. And isn't it amazing, though, how great it was to have him in the movie? And I'm so glad that Tom Cruise was smart enough to do that and to write something meaningful for him, because it is quite cool. Oh, Tim says there's an uncut Ultra 4K upcoming release of Island of Dr. Moreau. I bet that's probably cool, because when the studio gets too involved in these things and starts editing, everything just like goes south in terms of storytelling and stuff. So he had made a documentary that I watched a little while ago that he produced, and it was definitely like it was about him and stuff, but it was like him sort of communicating through this documentary once he couldn't talk anymore. And it was great. It was sad. It was a sad flick. But I think all the more reason to actually check it out now that he's passed away, because it was like a little love letter to his fans and to his career and his love for storytelling and playing characters. And shit, man, he plays the best characters. And we are going to get into this coolest classics right now. I got my list. These are the top 6 Val Kilmer movies for me. These are some of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm going to start it off with one that has Val in it in a slightly smaller role, but he's excellent. It's an excellent movie. I tend not to be the audience for these types of movies, but you cannot go wrong with Heat. Heat is a really fucking awesome crime flick. And, it's I'll read the little synopsis here. A group of high-end professional thieves start to feel the heat from the LAPD when they unknowingly leave a verbal clue at their latest heist. And basically, Al Pacino plays... I think, is it no? No, Al's the cop. Robert De Niro plays a criminal who is partnered with Val. And Val's part is kind of small, but it's not inconsequential. And it's a great movie. It's a simple, but, because he's Val, he just brings so much more to it. Once you fall in love with Val Kilmer, it's like when he shows up in a movie, it's like if they're not doing anything great with him, you're like, you are wasting Val fucking Kilmer right now. Like, this is crazy. I love him so much. This movie is filled with great actors. It's directed by Michael Mann, who's a really great director. Michael Mann, I think he started with like the Bad Boys franchise and shit. He did Last of the Mohicans, Collateral with Tom Cruise, The Insider. He's a great director, Michael Mann. And this movie is no exception. It's also written by Michael Mann. I mean, I think probably I don't know if it's his movie. I'm trying to find. Written by Michael Mann. Oh, yeah. It's just him. Written by Michael Mann, directed by Michael Mann. Great fucking movie, man. When you have somebody who can write and direct and on this cast, dude. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, who are like facing off against each other. Al's the cop and De Niro's the criminal. And that's just awesome to see them, back and forth. But you got Tom Sizemore in there, who I think is part of their crew, the bad guy crew. John Voight's in the movie. Ashley Judd. Tons of people who you'll recognize, like the fucking, it puts the lotion on its skin. Ted Levine, Levine, not sure which. Dennis Haysbert. William Fichtner, Natalie Portman. It's a great cast, great movie. Kevin Gage is in the movie from my dad's flick, Strangeland. He's the lead detective in Strangeland. Hank Azaria. I love Hank. Danny Trejo's got a little part in there. Henry Rollins shows up. I love it when Henry shows up in flicks. Just a ton of people who you'll recognize, but like if I said their names, you wouldn't necessarily know who they were. Jeremy Piven, Xander Berkeley, that's House. Yeah, it's a great cast, great movie, well written, well directed, gritty heist kind of movie, and really, hey Sean, how's it going, brother? Another friend of mine chiming into the chat. All right, so Heat, man, that's my number 6 pick. So that's my least favorite of my Val Kilmer favorites. Number 6, Heat. It is damn good. And you know what? It's like number 6 on my list. It might not be on my top 100 of all time because I tend to go for more sensational movies. And if I had to pick 100, I don't know. Heat might not make the list. But there's a better chance that this next one, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang at number 5. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is just so amazing because it brings together 3 of my favorite flavors. And you may know Mr. Robert Downey Jr., which it's just amazing to see Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Because, you know, if Robert passes away, I'm going to have to do a thing like this too for him. And man, fucking dude passed too soon. Yes, Scott, don't get ahead of me, man. Don't get ahead of me, brother. I'm getting there. I'm on number 5. Number 5 is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is just really like a special thing for me because I've always had a soft spot for Shane Black. And this movie is based on a novel called Bodies Are Where You Find Them. In part, apparently. But the screenplay is from Shane. And Shane is responsible for so many great flicks, especially things out of the 80s. I mean, you might be a fan of his because you love Monster Squad or Predator, and where he shows up, in the movie. As a writer, he's just really brilliant. The Lethal Weapon franchise is his. The Last Boy Scout, which is, one of those movies that I love, even though I don't know if it's even necessarily a good movie, but a fucking unarguable great Shane Black movie, if you've never seen it, is The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson. Fucking awesome movie. Of course, he also wrote Last Action Hero. But he also did Iron Man 3, which he directed as well. And Iron Man 3's grown on me. The Nice Guys, which was awesome in more recent times. The Predator, apparently, I don't know if he wrote that one by himself. It's like that one's him by himself. I'm surprised. Oh, yeah, no, I see multiple writers here. Written by. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's a fucking Shane Black original. He's a really great writer. And, he's done a little bit of directing now, but at the time, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was his first one. It was kind of like him coming back into the scene because he had been, he was very popular in the 80s, then all of a sudden, Shane Black wasn't super popular. But now, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was so popular that he got to do Iron Man 3. He did a movie called Edge, which he wrote, it looked like. I'm going to have to go watch Edge. I've never seen Edge. Who's in Edge? Edge. It was a TV movie. Interesting. Huh. I'm going to have to seek that one out. Love me some Shane Black. The Nice Guys. So good. But earlier, wait, I got the writer stuff. Yeah, okay, cool. I covered Shane Black. So, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is just like, it's just so wonderful because it's basically, Shane Black is probably one of the most charming writers in Hollywood. He's written some really charming shit. I mean, that's why The Last Boy Scout has grown on me over time. There's a lot of charm and humor to his flicks. The Lethal Weapon franchise is so great, great example. All the charm that's in there. And granted, Shane Black has lucked out with the fucking most charming actors in Hollywood playing his characters. And Mel Gibson. Fucking love Mel. And this, just having Robert Downey Jr. and Val, 2 of the most charming motherfuckers in movies, in this one flick, written by one of the most charming writers in movies. I mean, you can't fucking beat that shit. So, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. What was the story again? After being mistaken for an actor, a New York thief, which is Robert Downey Jr., is sent to Hollywood to train under a private eye, Val Kilmer, for a potential movie role. But the duo are thrown together with a struggling actress into a murder mystery. And yeah, that's basically covers what the movie is. But the interaction between Robert Downey Jr. and Val are great. I was a little disappointed at the time, only because of how much I fucking love them. But I've gone on to watch the movie a few times, and I really, really like it. It's got a 7.5 on IMDb. I know I'm not the only one. There's a ton of great actors in this movie. You got Corbin Burnson. Michelle Monaghan is like the love interest lady. A lot of people who you probably wouldn't recognize their names if I said them, like Larry Miller, who's awesome. He's the dad from fucking 10 Things I Hate About You and tons of movies. Anybody else worth mentioning while I'm here? Well, really, you're here to see Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. They're fucking awesome in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. If you haven't seen that movie yet, I highly recommend it. It's very funny, very charming, fun. It's a murder mystery. And it's just lighthearted, just a great thing to fucking put on when you're in a decent mood and want to laugh with some old friends, Robert Downey and Val Kilmer. And man, is Val that much older than Robert Downey? He just died 2025, 59. So he was born in 59, 69. I'm going to use my fingers. 69, 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2019. So what, we're at like 65? If he was 1959, let me see, Robert Downey Jr., 1959, born 65. All right, so Val was 6 years older than him, but still, way too fucking young to die. Way too young to die. It's so awful. Val Kilmer's dead. That sucks. All right, at number 4 on my list for the greatest Val Kilmer movies of all time, some of the greatest movies of all time, is Willow. Some people don't think that Willow is all that great. I tell you, because of Val fucking Kilmer, that movie is so great. And, and I appreciate a lot of things about that flick. I mean, I was very, without spoiling too much stuff, but there is a scene in the movie, if you haven't seen Willow, a magic transformation scene that the witch does over the soldiers who come to her gate. And oh my God, I thought about that for ages. And there are just some amazing visuals in this movie. The skull helmet that one of the lead generals of the bad guy army does. The Dahini, the little elemental fairy people, little guys, hysterical. And I just love all the subtle, kind of wisdom and the simple journey. I think that Warwick Davis, he's not a very good actor, but they got a decent performance out of him here. I don't know if you saw any of the TV show that they did recently. It was not good. I only watched a little bit of it, and now it's gone because they took it as a tax write-off because it was that terrible. But Willow, the original Willow, especially because of Mad Mardigan. And holy shit, it was really funny. I didn't find out until the Willow TV show that Mad Mardigan was his full name. His name is Mad Mardigan. That's his name, Mad Mardigan, which actually sucks. Much better when he was known as Mad Mardigan. His name was Mardigan, but they called him Mad. That's what I thought when I watched the movie. And I kind of want to go back and rewrite that, Mr. George Lucas. Not everybody's a big fan of Willow, but I am. I mean, I've only found that recently that a few people were like, Willow's not so great. I think Willow's fucking awesome. And really, if I'm being honest with myself, every time I go to watch it, I'm watching it because I want to see Mad Mardigan. I want to see all the Mad Mardigan scenes. He is fucking hysterical. I mean, he's just so good. He's so charming. And there's just a ton of great he's got to dress up like a woman in one of the scenes, and he's stuck in a friggin' cage, and there's just something behind Val Kilmer's eyes that was just genius and crazed, and I don't know, what's he gonna fucking do now? And really, no better than Willow do you get that bit of him, especially just because he's not the main character in Willow. He's a supporting character, and he's so integral and important to why you're having a good time. For those of you who haven't seen Willow, there's a couple, actors of note. I mean, every famous little actor who you've ever seen in any movie ever, they're all in Willow. They're all in Willow. I mean, this is like relatively known for, it being this George Lucas written, Ron Howard directed flick. Ron Howard's awesome. I love Ron Howard so much. He's the narrator on Arrested Development and producer on that show, and he's made some great movies. Ron's awesome. And Lucas can be really great, and I think that a lot of the fundamentals of what he tries to do here. Lucas, to me, he's just somebody who steals from really great pulp writers. He's somebody who just rips every great thing from, Conan, and every great thing from John Carter of Mars, and any other thing that he might have grown up reading, which hadn't really gotten onto the big screen in a big way because it tended to be, budgetary things or wasn't in style or whatever it was. And Lucas really brought forth so many of the things that people like me and you probably love, and got them onto the big screen in a way. And this is a really awesome sword and sandals epic with fucking magic and little people, elves and fairies, wizards and shit. And I love it. It's done well, and it's a super fun movie that I'll put on whenever, and I'll enjoy some Willow, especially because of Val Kilmer as Mad Mardigan. Say it like that. Don't say the Mad Mardigan without the space. It's bullshit. Yeah, it says right here, Mad Mardigan, Mad Mardigan. No, just no space. Mad Mardigan. What the fuck? No, it should be Mad Space Mardigan. That's better. Okay. So what was that? Number 4? Number 6? Number 5? Number 4? Okay, at number 3, I've seen it in the comments here. Tim has been waiting for it. Scott has been waiting for it. Yes, my friends. Real fucking genius. Holy shit. Real Genius is such a great movie and underseen, I think. I have shown so many girlfriends over the years, and I've been like, have you ever seen Real Genius? And they no. And I'm like, what? Gotta show you Real Genius. Real Genius is an awesome one. And friends, turning them on to Real Genius. If you're a good friend, then you've turned your friends on to Real Genius because it's fucking awesome. Real Genius is... Again, it's like he's like the main character. What up, Raven? He's like the main... He's kind of not exactly the main character. The main character is kind of this younger kid who comes to the school and is sort of like... this is the school for geniuses. And they're working with the military because all these geniuses have all these ideas, and there's certain things that are being done for the military. And there's a school, like a teacher, who is in this high position, Peck, who's... basically, he's just like stealing all the kids' ideas and making himself look good for the military, and he's using all of these real geniuses who are on campus. And one of them in particular is played by Val Kilmer, and he becomes like the sort of best friend, roommate, and like the guy who's leading our kind of main character through the story. But he is fucking... he's unbelievable. He is unbelievable in this role. If you've seen... what's it called? Van Wilder. Like, this is Van Wilder before Van Wilder, and it's like better because it doesn't feel as cheap, I guess. Ryan Reynolds is just sort of like spitting, and like eventually, like one of these bullets that he spits is gonna hit. Boom, gotcha, and like he's like kind of getting you giggling. And Val is just sort of like psh, 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 executing the fucking jokes in this script. I mean, there's a couple jokes in there that just I love. He approaches this girl at a party, and she's about to eat a big hamburger or something like that. She's about to put it in her mouth, and she's like about to put it to her mouth, and he runs over to her and he says, "Stop. Don't you know that eating food like this can give you extremely large breasts?" And he looks down, and she has extremely large breasts. And he goes, "I'm too late." I don't know why this hit me so hard. It hit me to this day. What up, Patty? It hit me so hard. Every time I fucking see that joke, I thought this is the greatest pickup line in the history of pickup lines. He quickly spots a girl with huge breasts who's about to eat a hamburger, and he goes, "Don't do that. This will give you large breasts." Oh shit, you have them. Yeah, that's right, Patty. Holy shit, it's such a great line. And then there's like other lines, like there's just so many great lines, but like there's another funny one where they're talking about license plates, and like one of the guys has one of the lame students has his name on his license plate or something like that, and the young kid who I said is kind of the main character, he goes, "My mother does that to my underwear," and he just stands up and nonchalantly says, "Your mother puts license plates in your underwear? That's weird." But just deadpan, just is like so dead. I don't know if I necessarily learned it from him, but I learned it when I was recording episodes of Food Paradise. Food Paradise is a show that I narrate. We haven't done any new episodes in a little while. I think we're probably going to come back and do some more soon. But when you're doing like a food show, and you have all these scripts, and we're just constantly trying to make you smile, make you laugh, whatever. And there's all these jokes. Most of them are fucking dad jokes. And the thing is, if you are like in cahoots with your audience, and if you like evaluate how good a joke is, and you realize that it's a really good joke, the more you can kind of throw it away and pretend like you don't know that it's a really good joke, the better. However, if it's a bad joke, the more you can have it in your delivery that like it's a bad joke, or the more you can underplay it, or like the better it will go with the audience. And in this case, this deadpan, she puts license plates in your underwear, which isn't necessarily like the funniest fucking thing that's ever been said. But his delivery is just always on point. And in the whole movie. And it's really great because you got This Man Has No Penis is the bad guy. From Ghostbusters, if you know who I'm talking about. I forget what his name is. I'll pull it up in just a second. He is the professor, and he is just like this, is the antagonist of the movie. And just seeing him get his fucking comeuppance, and seeing him have to deal with Val Kilmer in his freaking prime, man. I mean, just everything. He has more charm in his pinky finger than most people have in their entire bodies. It's just really such a loss. It's such a bummer that I have to talk about him as he passed away, and wasn't fucking old enough to have passed away. There's so many more things that he could have been freaking up to and doing, and this is a bummer. This is a bummer to say this. What am I pulling up here? I'm pulling it up for no Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, sorry. Following my list. Oh, for Real Genius. I've got to get this freaking redhead guy's name. What's fucking Peck's name? All right, here it is. And this was his first movie was Top Secret, which, like I said, I've seen, but like that necessarily isn't like my biggest Val Kilmer movie, even though I know a lot of people love it. Directed by Martin Coolidge, and starring Val Kilmer as Chris Knight. And what's his face? Where is he? There he is. William Atherton. Professor Jerry Hoffer. He is so great as the man that you want to fucking stab in the face. He's just awesome. And like I said, just having this smart aleck, just always, like nobody can get under his skin. It's just so wonderful to have his character in there. But the movie's compelling and fun and interesting, and the story's good. The conclusion is very satisfying. All of the kind of socially awkward kids in the college that are Val Kilmer's, fellow students, and the other main character. I forget what the main guy's name is. Is this him right here? I don't recognize him. Shuttle pilot. No, see, yeah, they have it fucking. Yeah, I tried to look earlier and I'm like, where's the dude? I don't recognize him. He's not. Nobody else in the movie is really that big of an actor except for the professor guy that is the antagonist. If you have not seen Real Genius, it's fucking amazing. If you have people in your life who have not seen Real Genius, you're a bad friend. Go help them. Go help them live. Okay. Real genius. Everybody needs the influence of Val Kilmer in his fucking power as the coolest, smartest, sexiest, most fucking righteous dude on planet Earth in Real Genius. Really, like, it's medicine for every person out there. If you want to feel better in your life and like know how to be fucking cool and like have some sort of avatar representative of what coolness is, it's fucking Val Kilmer in Real Genius. Hands down. Definitely. All right. So we're moving on here. We got our last two. I mean, my first one's probably going to be pretty obvious by the time now that we got Real Genius out of the way. But number two might be a surprise for you. If you have not seen The Ghost and the Darkness, highly recommend that movie to you. I am a big animal lover, so, you know, you can't kind of you tell me animals and there's lions. This is a movie. It's about it's a true story, or based on a true story anyway, about these two lions in Africa that started hunting people. A bridge engineer, played by Val Kilmer, and an experienced old hunter, played by Michael Douglas, begin a hunt for two lions after they start attacking local construction workers. So they're out there and they've got, you know, I don't know if it's slave labor or whatever, but they've got like all the people working on all this shit for, like, you know, England. You know, the white people are getting all these people going. And these two lions start hunting the workers, and people are going missing, and the work is about to stop. So first, this guy's a hunter, Val Kilmer. He plays a hunter, and he kind of starts to like get into it, trying to go after these lions. But these lions are smart, and they're not like other lions. And they bring in this dude played by Michael Douglas, who is this Charles Remington. His name is, who is this big, experienced game hunter. And he basically comes in and goes, "These lions are not behaving like lions." And it's very spooky. It's like a spooky, creepy movie where like these lions could come about any time. And it's really good. It's really good. You know, it's a more normal kind of role for Val, but I love him, and he's great in it. Michael Douglas's character is kind of the more interesting part, and he's really good. And the lions, you know, the whole story, the fact that it's based on a true story, and you know, this I don't want to spoil too much from it, because it's just a worthwhile movie to see. But he's having dreams, you know, these bad dreams of like his family coming to see him, and you know, and you know, let's just say it gets like mixed up with all the shit that's going on with the lions, and you know, it's just they really effectively kind of keep you on your toes and keep you tense for the whole movie. It's just like, oh fuck. And you know, and the part of you, if you're an animal lover, you're like, oh, these lions, you know, but at the same time you're like, these lions are demons, they're gonna kill all these people. The Ghost in the Darkness, man. And very cool extra bonus thing about The Ghost in the Darkness, if you're a longtime listener to this show, then you know that I am a huge fan of William Goldman. William Goldman is my favorite writer of all time. He wrote The Princess Bride. He wrote All the President's Men and Marathon Man, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. A lot of these things were adaptations. Not all of them, though. He is brilliant. And I'm not sure if this is an adaptation or because this just says written by. Yeah. I think this might have been his last like original screenplay by him, which is really cool. You know, William Goldman's long passed on, but William Goldman's brilliant, and this movie continues to prove it. It's directed by Stephen Hopkins, who he made Predator 2, which I'm a big fan of. He did one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. He's a decent director, and this flick is proof. It is freaking awesome. It's a great shot of Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer with rifles in their hands, looking cool. I love it. Love this movie. All right, yeah. If you haven't seen The Ghost in the Darkness, that's a good one. All right, my friends, we're coming to the last one on the list. At number 1, greatest fucking Val Kilmer performance of all time. One of the greatest movies of all time. You know, my list is The Princess Bride, Tombstone, and Braveheart for my top 3 films of all time. I think that's probably still holds. Number 2 on my list of all-time favorite movies is Tombstone. And it's not just because of Val, but he is carrying 10 helpings of water for everybody else who's carrying 1. And I mean, it's like, and I'm like, Kurt Russell, he's great, but Val's worth 10. And I mean, everybody in that movie is great, but Val's worth 10. If you haven't seen memes by now or never heard of Tombstone and the incredible performance that Val Kilmer gives as Doc Holliday, it's so good. It's so good. There's just so many quotable lines, so many memorable moments. He just embodies that part to such a crazy degree. And honestly, I mean, Wyatt Earp, who's the main character, played by Kurt Russell, is awesome. He carries the film, as the leading man. But it is all the extra pieces that are so good, that really make the movie so great. Even though Kurt is great, I'm not shitting on Kurt Russell. He fucking rules. But the cast that is around Kurt is insane. And, I'm not going to really spoil anything about the movie. It's based on a lot of historical things. Basically, Wyatt Earp and his family of lawmen having to face off against the Cowboys, the gang known as the Cowboys. His brothers in arms are played by Sam Elliott as Virgil Earp and his older brother. Sam Elliott's great. We've lost Sam now, too. Bill Paxton plays the younger brother. He's fucking phenomenal. And Val plays Doc Holliday, his best friend. Now, on the other side of things, the Cowboys, there are just so many good ones. From Powers Booth, who plays the leader, Curly Bill Brocious, and his kind of crazy number 2, who is basically a crazy number 2 to Wyatt Earp's crazy number 2, Doc Holliday, which is Michael Biehn playing Johnny Ringo. And Michael Biehn is great. Makes me so pissed off that we didn't get Michael Biehn in freaking Aliens 3, and we didn't get another fucking flick out of Michael Biehn and his character. He's great. He's been great in so many of the movies he's been in. There's tons of little show-up parts for people like Charleston Heston and Jason Priestley, and everybody really is genuinely great in here. Stephen Lang plays one of the fucking cowboys. He is so memorable and so terrible. It's kind of crazy that he's known for this like wussy part, and like he's playing this like badass dude part in the Avatar series. But you got Thomas Hayden Church, Dana Delaney, Michael Rooker, Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton's got a great little part. He gets fucking shamed by Val Kilmer. Why, Johnny Tyler, where you going with that shotgun? Totally takes the ink out of dude's pen. A ton of people who you wouldn't recognize their names, but you will recognize them when you see them. Also, people like Billy Zane, John Corbett's got a little part in there. There's really just like this movie is just loaded up. Terry O'Quinn. So many people have gone on to do so many things. And I mean, and half of that is because people saw them in fucking Tombstone. And this movie got them lots of friggin' roles. The cast is just insane, including an amazing narration at the beginning of the movie by Robert Mitchum. For those of you who don't know Robert Mitchum, I mean, he's in like so many... he's known for so many fucking movies. He's not like a My Day actor either. As soon as you hear his voice, you go, I know this guy. Where do I know this guy from? It's like the easiest one for me to pull to. I think he was like Bill Murray's boss, the dead boss, I think, in Scrooged, or was he the living boss? I know he's in Scrooged. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this movie is based on the true history. When you look into some of the making of it, the writer really went out of their way to try and demystify and change some kind of common misconceptions and things about like the Old West and the way it was depicted that weren't exactly accurate. And allegedly gives a more traditionally accurate depiction of the Old West than some of these other movies do. I wasn't there, so I don't know. How were we supposed to know? But I'll tell you, it feels fucking authentic. The performances feel freaking authentic. The genuine friendship between Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer is awesome. And the behind-the-scenes stuff that went on with them, they ended up buying each other end-of-shoot gifts, and they basically bought each other the same gift in like a reverse way. I think one of them got like a property overlooking the cemetery, and the other one bought them a cemetery plot. and it was like, this is perfect. Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp. Go look into the behind the scenes of the Tombstone movie. It's worth investigating. The Tombstone flick is fucking awesome. I mean, really, my 6 choices here. Tombstone, number 1 with a bullet. Don't leave planet Earth without seeing Tombstone. It is worth your time. And as somebody who like has always believed in really good friendship and things like that, and like, you know, deep connections with people, it's amazing. It's amazing on the Val Kilmer, Kurt. They really, I guess, became decent friends during the filming of the movie and had a real nice respect for one another, and it comes through. I mean, the brotherliness of Sam Elliott and what's his name playing his brother, Bill Paxton. That comes through, and there's a wonderful bit. I mean, I don't know. It's come to mean a lot to me because Kurt Russell's kind of in an unhappy marriage, and he falls in love, and that part of the story is true, and a lot of their love story is like sort of an important epitaph to kind of the whole journey that they go on here. And man, I mean, by the time you get the last scene with Wyatt and Doc Holliday in that movie, oh my God. If you're not crying your eyes out, you're dead inside. Okay? That's it. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, I love Val Kilmer, man. There are so many movies here that I've never seen. You know, and I mean, I've kind of heard about them because I do love him, and I will search out. I have typed in Val Kilmer and just seen what has come up at certain times, the same way I would do for Paul Newman or Mel Gibson or whatever, because I like them a lot. But there's a ton of movies here, and I'm going to go see him. Riptide, I mean, these are recent. I don't know, was he not talking in them? The Birthday Cake, Pay Dirt, The Soldier's Revenge. He was in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Cinema Twain, he played Mark Twain. I want to see him play Mark Twain. Firstborn, The Super, The Snowman, Song to Song. I don't know these fucking movies. He played Mark Twain in Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, too. I want to see him play Mark Twain. That sounds cool to me. There's a ton of fucking movies here that this man has done. And I think he deserves us all to go into his catalog and over the next bunch of years, watch some of these fucking movies. I bet they're great. I bet there's some great ones. And if you find a great Val Kilmer movie and you go, oh, Jesse, I dug into his catalog and I decided that Comanche Moon was fucking awesome, you should watch it. Write me at jesseblaze@jessesnider.com and yeah, tell me what it is and I'll go watch it too. But I'm going to be watching some more Val Kilmer movies. But those are my 6. Anyway, I haven't done my Monday show. Yeah, it's not Monday, it's Wednesday. For everything they don't want you to know, I'm just running a little bit behind this week because I'm helping my family move into into our family complex in North Carolina. I'm just a little bit going to be late in the moving in here. But yeah, so I'm helping them, and I just got delayed a little bit. So I'm gonna get to my everything they don't want you to know. If you're not listening to that show, every Monday I talk about all the shit that powerful people on planet Earth do not want you to know. If you want to know what that shit is, listen to my show. My show, All Your Favorite Bands Suck, is still available everywhere but Spotify, and we will be bringing it back eventually. Please join me for a Saturday episode, a coolest pick or a coolest classic. I haven't figured out which one I'm going to be doing just yet. But yeah, do join me Saturday, and then join me again next Wednesday for another fucking awesome episode of the Coolest Geek Alive. Love you guys. See you next time. You've been listening to Coolest Geek Alive with me, your host, Jesse Blaze Snider. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more excellent geek culture content. Thanks for listening.
It's my favorite part! Isn't it heavy? awesome. Week after weeks, it's gonna be fucking awesome. Laughing with you, it's gonna be fucking awesome. And crying sometimes too, it's gonna be fucking awesome. Spelling it out, it's gonna be fucking awesome. Making you shout. I'm a genius. I got lyrics coming out me bum for days. You like that? It's a kazoo solo. I played that too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Talking some shit. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Living legit. My voice is fucking awesome. Food in our mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Get in the mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Tell all your friends. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Call right on text. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Raising the bar. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Straight to the stars. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It's starting soon. Straight to the top. Passing the moon. It's gonna be fucking awesome. On with the show. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Ready, set, go. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Just wait. You'll see. You'll all see.
The podcast playground.